What's up, you guys? Matthew here. We got some drama in the AI space. Matt Shoma wrote, "Something big is happening." 74 million views here on Twitter. I think they have a contest going on right now where you can win $1 million for writing an article. So maybe he's motivated by that. Let's see what he has to say. I think it's kind of an alarmist opinion piece on the state of AI. So let's crack it open. I have it here pasted in a Word document so we can have it read aloud by the AI here. So let's get this started and I'll give you guys my opinion on it as we go through here.
Something big is happening. Think back to February 2020. If you were paying close attention, you might have noticed a few people talking about a virus spreading overseas. But most of us weren't paying close attention. The stock market was doing great. Your kids were...
It's hard not to see this as like the situational awareness paper light, but written like a few years later, right? He's kind of painting it the same. He's like, why you gotta do the most? He's basically like writing a whole story here, like a narrative, like you're on the ground floor of Hiroshima the day before it happened. Like, bro, get to the point. Come on.
In school, you were going to restaurants and shaking hands and planning trips. If someone told you they were stockpiling toilet paper, you would have thought they'd been spending too much time on a weird corner of the internet. Then,
let me guess.
Over the course of about 3 weeks,
thing.
the entire world changed.
Wow.
Your office closed, your kids came home, and life rearranged itself into something you wouldn't have believed if you described it to yourself a month earlier. I think we're in the this seems overblown phase of something much, much bigger than COVID. I've spent 6 years building an AI startup and investing in the space. I live in this world, and I'm writing this for the people in my life who don't, my family, my friends, the people I care about who keep asking me.
Okay. So he's not trying to sell you something. He's not trying to win a prize for the article. He cares about you. That's his motivation here. I don't know. I'm kind of tired of this guy's shit already. Why's he got to be all like this?
So what's the deal with AI? And getting an answer that doesn't do justice to what's actually happening. I keep giving them the polite version. The cocktail party version, because the honest version sounds like I've lost my mind. And for a while, I
kind of do the same thing. If somebody asks me about AI, I just kind of like give something I think that they'll accept. Where it's like I don't want to actually tell them like, yeah, you know, you're cooked, right? I kind of agree with this guy in a little bit. I just kind of like don't like the way he is trying to like tell the whole story. It's like makes it be like it's in a whole movie or like an anime or something like that. Let's just talk about the point here.
Told myself that was a good enough reason to keep what's truly happening to myself. But the gap between what I've been saying and what is actually happening has gotten far too big. The people I care about deserve to hear what is coming, even if it sounds crazy. I should be clear about something up front. Even though I work in AI, I have almost no influence over what's about to happen, and neither does the vast majority of the industry.
I don't know. That's kind of painting as though even the article is not worth writing. So it's kind of like undercuts the idea of like, oh, I care about you, so I'm just going to scare you, but I can't do anything about this. Like,
The future is being shaped by a remarkably small number of people, a few hundred researchers at a handful of companies.
All right, this is like verbatim situational awareness. Like we already read this paper. It was written in 2024. I literally read it on another video, and this is kind of verbatim.
OpenAI, Anthropic, Google DeepMind, and a few others. A single training run, managed by a small team over a few months, can produce an AI system that shifts the entire trajectory of the technology. Most of us who work in AI are building on top of foundations we didn't lay. We're watching this unfold the same as you. We just happen to be close enough to feel the ground shake first. But it's time now. Not in an eventually we should talk about this way. In a this is happening right now and I need you to understand it way.
Okay, so he's got authority. He cares about you. And he's on the ground floor of this. So he knows about it. And he's here to tell you all about it in this paper. And you're lucky that he's warning you because he knows about it.
I know this is real because it happened to me first. Here's the thing nobody outside of tech quite understands yet. The reason so many people in the industry are sounding the alarm right now is because this already happened to us. We're not making predictions. We're telling you what already occurred in our own jobs and warning you that you're next. For years, AI had been improving steadily. Big jumps here and there, but each big jump was spaced out enough that you could absorb them as they came. Then in 2025, new techniques for building these models unlocked a much faster pace of progress. And then it got even faster, and then faster again. Each new model wasn't just better than the last. It was better by a wider margin.
I don't know. That sounds like an exaggeration a little bit. Better by a wider margin. I find it to be kind of incremental. I know that Opus 4.6 kind of has like 4 times the memory as the last one, but I don't know. I feel like that's an exaggeration.
And the time between new model releases was shorter. I was using AI more and more, going back and forth with it less and less, watching it handle things I used to think required my expertise. Then, on February 5th, 2 major AI labs released new models on the same day.
Bro, I swear everybody always has like a different threshold for the day when they found out that AI could do everything they can or something like that. I feel like it's like the level at which AI impresses you is like the level at which you get one-shotted by it. And this guy, he simply, the level at which he got one-shotted is 4.6, you know? There's that other guy, he's like the subhuman guy that got one-shotted by Lambda. Looks like a garden gnome. Anyways.
GPT 5.3 codex from OpenAI and Opus 4.6 from Anthropic, the makers of Claude, one of the main competitors to ChatGPT. And something clicked, not like a light switch, more like the moment you realize the water has been rising around you and is now at your chest. I am no longer needed for the actual technical work of my job.
That sounds like another exaggeration, but maybe he's good enough at prompting, you know? Maybe this guy is so good at prompting that he just can walk away from it and it gets it done.
I describe what I want built in plain English, and it just appears. Not a rough draft I need to fix. The finished thing. I tell the AI what I want, walk away from my computer for 4 hours, and come back to find the work done. Done well, done better than I would have done it myself, with no corrections needed.
Oh my God. That does not sound true. I don't get those results. I need this guy's prompting guide because I don't get these results.
A couple of
My
months
bad.
ago, I was going back and forth with the AI, guiding it, making edits. Now I just describe the outcome and leave. Let me give
Wow.
you an example so you can understand what this actually looks like in practice.
Either he's lying, exaggerating, or I suck at prompting. Maybe I suck.
I'll tell the AI, I want to build this app. Here's what it should do. Here's roughly what it should look like. Figure out the user flow, the design, all of it. And it does. It writes tens of thousands of lines of code. Then,
That's his prompt?
and this is the part that would have been unthinkable a year ago, it opens the app itself. It clicks through the buttons. It
All right, he just discredited himself. I thought maybe he was like a wizard prompter, and then he said it's a bad prompt, and now he's saying that he's just impressed by the browser extension feature. This guy just got one-shotted by the browser extension feature. We had Claude computer use in like 2023. What's wrong with him?
tests the features.
I mean, he knows this, right? He knows all this. He can't be... All right, whatever.
It uses the app the way a person would. If it doesn't like how something looks or feels, it goes back and changes it on its own. It iterates, like a developer would, fixing and refining until it's satisfied. Only once it has decided the app meets its own standards does it come back to me and say, it's ready for you to test. And when I test it, it's usually perfect.
He's like, I don't get these results, bro. Like, what do you mean? I want that. I want that. I want it to be like usually perfect when I tell it something as basic as I want to build this app. Here's what to do. He's like, jeez.
I'm not exaggerating. That is what
You
my
are,
Monday
bro.
looked like this week.
I
But
swear
it was
he's
the model that
exaggerating.
was released
I'm
last
jealous.
week, GPT 5.3 Codex, that shook me the most.
One
It
shot.
wasn't just executing my instructions. It was making intelligent decisions. It had something that felt, for the first time, like judgment, like taste. The inexplicable sense of knowing what the right call is that people always said AI would never have. This model has it, or something close enough that the distinction is starting not to matter.
Do you think he just lowered his quality standards and now he's impressed because he embraced the slop? Or do you think this guy is really getting usually perfect results from like generalized prompts? Like, what do you guys think? Do you think he's lying? Do you think he's just like a liar? Or do you think this is actually happening? Because I don't get these results. Do you get these results?
I've always been early to adopt AI tools, but the last few months have shocked me. These new AI models aren't incremental improvements. This is a different thing entirely. And here's why this matters to you. Even if you don't work in tech, the AI labs made a deliberate choice. They focused on making AI great at writing code first, because building AI requires a lot of code. If AI can write that code, it can help build the next version of itself. A smarter version, which writes better code, which builds an even smarter version.
I don't know. That sounds like runaway logic that is kind of not tempered by actual reasoning. That sounds like slop. That sounds like he just said that because you can just say things. There are many counters to that. I don't agree with that as being like 100% certain true. That's like debatable.
Making AI great at coding was the strategy that unlocks everything else. That's why they did it first. My job started changing before yours not because they were targeting software engineers. It was just a side effect of where they chose to aim first. They've now done it, and they're moving on to everything else.
I mean, he knows more than me about this because he's an authority, but you can abuse your authority. I have no way of like double checking this because I am not like an expert at all of this, but my feeling is that I've read enough counterpoints to this guy that for him to not steelman the other side and to just glide through without even presenting the other side as an argument says to me that he's being disingenuous. That's just my take, you guys. If somebody's going to be an actual like authentic person when they're writing an article, they're going to steelman the other side of the argument first and then walk you through the counter arguments to the steelman. They're not just going to glide over it, glaze over it, and pretend that the counter arguments don't even exist.
Experience that tech workers have had over the past year of watching AI go from helpful tool to does my job better than I do is the experience everyone else is about to have. Law, finance, medicine, accounting, consulting, writing, design, analysis, customer service. Not in 10 years. The people building these systems say 1 to 5 years. Some say less. And given what I've seen in just the last couple of months, I think less is more likely. But I tried AI and it wasn't that good. I hear this constantly.
Yeah.
I understand it because it used to be true. If you
I tried the new
ChatGPT in 2023 or early 2024 and thought this makes
I tried the new one, bro. I'm not getting the same results as you.
stuff up, or this isn't that impressive, you were right. Those early versions were genuinely limited. They hallucinated. They confidently said things that were nonsense.
They still do, man. It's not 100% solved. It's like maybe like 92% solved. Like the 8% still there, man.
2 years ago. In AI time, that is ancient history. The models available today are unrecognizable from what existed even 6 months ago. The debate about whether AI is really getting better or hitting a wall, which has been going on for over a year, is over. It's done.
I don't think it's done, man. I think it's debatable. So you see how he's like dealing in absolutes? Only a Sith deals in absolutes. He's making statements, right? And his statement is based on, I am an authority and I know this and I'm telling you, right? It's kind of like that. Like it's his argument is it's done. He's not presenting the other side of the argument. Like it's just telling you. It's telling you, and you're not smart enough. I'm not smart enough to tell if he's lying to me or not. And it frustrates me. It's frustrating.
One still making that argument either hasn't used the current models, has an incentive to downplay what's happening, or is evaluating based on an experience from 2024 that is no longer relevant.
No, it's from 2026.
I don't say that
My
to be
experience is
dismissive.
2026.
I say it because the gap between public perception and current reality is now enormous, and that gap is dangerous because it's preventing people from preparing. Part of the problem is that most people are using the free version of AI tools.
What? They give you the best one for free.
The free version is over a year behind what paying users have access to.
Okay, now he's really lying. Like, that that's a lie, right? You know that that's like not true. So that's like verifiably not true. And if he's willing to say something that's verifiably not true right here, how do you know anything else he says is not true? That's bad. This guy's bad. He's a liar. That's a lie. Terrible.
Judging AI based on free tier ChatGPT is like evaluating the state of smartphones by using a flip phone.
You can use 4.6 for free.
The people paying for the best tools and actually using them daily for real work know what's coming. I think of my friend, who's a lawyer. I keep telling him to try using AI at his firm, and he keeps finding reasons it won't.
Okay, wait. Can you use 4.6 for free? Or you can use Sonnet 4.5 for free. You can't use Opus 4.6 for free. Okay, so he's right about Anthropic. He's right about Anthropic. He's wrong about ChatGPT, but he actually said ChatGPT right there. But he's wrong about that. Huh. That's different. He's wrong about that.
ChatGPT is like evaluating the state of smartphones by using a flip phone. The people paying for the best tools and actually using them daily for real work know what's coming. I think of my friend, who's a lawyer. I keep telling him to try using AI at his firm, and he keeps finding reasons it won't work. It's not built for his specialty. It made an error when he tested it. It doesn't understand the nuance of what he does. And I get it. But I've had partners at major law firms reach out to me for advice because they've tried the current versions and they see where this is going. One of them...
Now, I agreed that looking at a snapshot, let's say it's not good enough now. Maybe it'll be good enough later. So you look at the trend. You don't look at the snapshot. I think one person was saying, like, there are people who look at points and there's people who look at trends, and people who understand the AI look at trends. But this guy, his analysis of the current point we're on, I disagree with that. But I would still say, regardless of that, if the trend continues, maybe that would be irrelevant. So that's my opinion on that. But his concept of like the current point we're at is, in my opinion, also incorrect. So how could I trust him on the trend if his opinion on the current point is incorrect?
The managing partner at a large firm spends hours every day using AI. He told me it's like having a team of associates available instantly. He's not using it because it's a toy. He's using it because it works. And he told me something that stuck with me. Every couple of months, it gets significantly more capable for his work.
Yeah.
He said if it stays on this trajectory, he expects it'll be able to do most of what he does before long.
Yeah, it's a
And
trend.
he's a managing partner with decades of experience. He's not panicking, but he's paying very close attention. The people who are ahead in their industries, the ones actually experimenting seriously, are not dismissing this. They're blown away by what it can already do, and they're positioning themselves accordingly.
He's starting to sound more reasonable here, but I disagree with a lot of what he said so far.
How fast this is actually moving, let me make the pace of improvement concrete, because I think this is the part that's hardest to believe if you're not watching it closely. In 2022, AI couldn't do basic arithmetic reliably. It would confidently tell you that 7 times 8 is equal to 54. By 2023, it could pass the bar exam. By 2024, it could write working software and explain graduate-level science. By late 2025, some of the best engineers in the world said they had handed over most of their coding work to AI. On February 5th, 2026, new models arrived that made everything before them feel like a different era. If you haven't tried AI in the last few months, what exists today would be unrecognizable to you.
Okay, he's starting to cook here a little bit. It makes me feel like my prompting skills suck because I'm not getting the same results as him, but he's starting to cook here.
There's an organization called METR that actually measures this with data. They track the length of real-world tasks, measured by how long they take a human expert, that a model can complete successfully end-to-end without human help. About a year ago, the answer was roughly 10 minutes. Then it was an hour. Then several hours. The most recent measurement, Claude Opus 4.5, from November, showed the AI completing tasks that take a human expert nearly 5 hours. And that number is doubling approximately every 7 months. With
I think 4.6 did even longer. I think it was like 2 weeks or something like that.
recent data suggesting it may be accelerating to as fast as every 4 months. But even that measurement hasn't been updated to include the models that just came out this week.
Yeah,
In my experience using them, the jump is extremely significant. I expect the next update to Metra's graph to show another major leap. If you extend the trend, and it's held for years with no sign of flattening, we're looking at AI that can work independently for days within the next year, weeks within 2, month-long projects within 3. Amadei has said that AI models substantially smarter than almost all humans at almost all tasks are on track for 2026 or 2027. Let that land for a second. If AI is smarter than most PhDs, do you really think it can't do most office jobs?
I agree with him on the trend. I disagree with him on the snapshot. How about that?
Think about what that means for your work. AI is now building the next AI. There's one more thing happening that I think is the most important development and the least understood. On February 5th, OpenAI released GPT 5.3 Codex. In the technical documentation, they included this. GPT 5.3 Codex is our first model that was instrumental in creating itself. The Codex team used early versions to debug its own training, manage its own deployment, and diagnose test results and evaluations. Read that again. The AI helped build itself. This isn't a prediction about what might happen someday. This is OpenAI telling you, right now, that the AI they just released was used to create itself. One of the main things that makes
It didn't create itself entirely. It helped with that. It helped humans with that, right?
AI better is intelligence applied to AI development. And AI is now intelligent enough to meaningfully contribute to its own improvement. Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, says AI is now writing much of the code at his company, and that the feedback loop between current AI and next-generation AI is gathering steam month by month. He says we may be only 1 to 2 years away from a point where the current generation of AI autonomously builds the next.
That I've heard counter arguments for, and if he doesn't entertain those counter arguments, you can suspect that he's not really being authentic. Like he got to. I mean, like I can't like argue with him necessarily and bring up all of the counter arguments. I think it would be better for him to actually do that, though. You know, it's like if I could just pull one out my ass. It's like he's saying, what is he saying here? He's saying that 1 to 2 years away from the point where current generation of AI autonomously builds the next. That sounds like not true. That sounds like you could argue against that and say something like the AI's, how could a stupider one builds one that's smarter than it? Something like that. Like, how can you, like, I don't know. Something like that, right?
Each generation helps build the next, which is smarter, which builds the next faster, which is smarter still. The researchers call this an intelligence explosion. And the people who would know, the ones building it, believe the process has already started.
Like, have they proven that it's even possible for something that's not as intelligent to build something that's more intelligent? I feel like that philosophically is like a question. It's almost like, could you simulate a world that's as detailed as the actual world inside a computer? It's kind of like the same question, maybe.
What this means for your job, I'm going to be direct with you because I think you deserve honesty more than comfort. Dario Amodei, who is probably the most...
See, he's just so manipulative, man. It's like when I'm reading this, I'm just like, you're raping me. Like, you're raping me. Like, seriously, like, I'm going to be direct with you. You're raping me because I think you deserve honesty more than comfort. You're raping me. Like, what is this? I feel manipulated, bro. Like I don't like his style of rhetoric.
Safety-focused CEO in the AI industry has publicly predicted that AI will eliminate 50% of entry-level white-collar jobs within 1 to 5 years. And many people in the industry think he's being conservative. Given what the latest models can do, the capability for massive disruption could be here by the end of this year. It'll take some time to ripple through the economy, but the underlying ability is arriving now. This is different from every previous wave of automation, and I need you to understand why. AI isn't replacing one specific skill. It's a general substitute for cognitive work. It gets better at everything simultaneously. When factories automated, a displaced worker could retrain as an office worker. When the internet disrupted retail, workers moved into logistics or services. But AI doesn't leave a convenient gap to move into. Whatever you retrain for, it's improving at that too.
Whatever you retrain for cognitive work, but there's some that's not cognitive? I don't know. Is this replace everybody? I'd like to see him argue against that too. I mean, like, I could think of maybe some arguments against that. He's just saying stuff.
Let me give you a few specific examples to make this tangible.
All right.
But I want to be clear that these are just examples. This list is not exhaustive. If your job isn't mentioned here, that does not mean it's safe. Almost all knowledge work is being affected. Legal work. AI can already read contracts, summarize case law, draft briefs, and do legal research at a level that rivals junior associates.
I mean, you hear him say this, but then you also hear about a guy who literally lost his license because he used AI.
The managing partner I mentioned isn't using AI because it's fun. He's using it because it's outperforming his associates on many tasks.
And then the other guy gets his license taken away because he didn't, skill issue. I don't know.
Financial analysis. Building financial models, analyzing data, writing investment memos, generating reports. AI handles these competently and is improving fast. Writing and content. Marketing copy, reports, journalism, technical writing. The quality has reached a point where many professionals can't distinguish AI output from human work.
Okay, hold on a second. AI output, the way it writes, everyone makes fun of it because it can't stop writing the way that it does. It's like a clanker. You know how it writes? They all talk that way. They all do that, and they can't stop doing that. It's like they have their own form of ebonics or something. They just say like, this is not that, it's that. You're not crazy. You're pattern recognition, right? It's like, it's just the AIs, they can't stop clanking. They have to always, they just talk like that. That's how they all do that.
Software engineering. This is the field I know best. A year ago, AI could barely write a few lines of code without errors. Now it writes hundreds of thousands of lines that work correctly. Large parts of the job are already automated. Not just simple tasks, but complex, multi-day projects. There will be far fewer programming roles in a few years than there are today. Medical analysis. Reading scans, analyzing lab results, suggesting diagnoses, reviewing literature. AI is approaching or exceeding human performance in several areas. Customer service.
Let's say it's exceeding human performance in several areas. Will people trust it? I don't know. I think trust is one of the last bottlenecks for AI adoption. If it is true that it is actually competent, we have to trust its competence. And let's say it does hallucinate. As long as it hallucinates less than humans deceive and error, then maybe it's better than humans. Who knows?
Genuinely capable AI agents, not the frustrating chatbots of 5 years ago, are being deployed now, handling complex multi-step problems. A lot of people find comfort in the idea that certain things are safe. That AI can handle the grunt work, but can't replace human judgment, creativity, strategic thinking, empathy. I used to say this too. I'm not sure I believe it anymore.
You don't believe that it can't replace empathy? So you believe it can replace empathy? This guy's one-shotted, completely discredited. He wants to have sex with a robot. I know this guy. I've got him completely clocked already just by that. I clocked this guy. I got him. He's over there making out with his robot he's building in his closet. I know this guy.
The most recent AI models make decisions that feel like judgment. They show something that looked like taste, an intuitive sense of what the right call was, not just the technically correct one. A year ago, that would have been unthinkable. My rule of thumb at this point is, if a model shows even a hint of a capability today, the next generation will be genuinely good at it. These things improve exponentially, not linearly. Well,
they have been improving exponentially for a while, but lately they've been improving linearly. I think he's just disagree with him. There's a lot of counter arguments there about the linear, recently.
AI replicate deep human empathy? Replace the trust built over years of a relationship? I don't know. Maybe not. But I've already watched people begin relying on AI for emotional support.
So people getting one-shotted is proof that it has empathy? That's a dumb argument. Stupid.
For advice, for companionship. That trend is only going to grow. I think the honest answer is that nothing that can be done on a computer is safe in the medium term. If your job happens on a screen, if the core of what you do is reading, writing, analyzing, deciding, communicating through a keyboard, then AI is coming for significant parts of it. The timeline isn't someday. It's already started. Eventually, robots will handle physical work too. They're not quite there yet. But not quite there yet, in AI terms, has a way of becoming here faster than anyone expects. What you should actually do, I'm not writing this to make you feel helpless. I'm writing this because I think the single biggest advantage you can have right now is simply being early. Early to understand it. Early to use it. Early to adapt. Start using AI seriously, not just as a search engine. Sign up for the paid version of Claude or ChatGPT. It's $20 a month. But 2 things matter right away. First, make sure you're using the best model available, not just the default. These apps often default to a faster, dumber model. Dig into the settings or the model picker and select the most capable option. Right now, that's GPT 5.2 on ChatGPT or Claude.
I swear you can get that one for free.
Opus 4.6 on Claude, but it changes every couple of months. If you want to stay current on which model is best at any given time, you can follow me on X at @matchmer_. I test every major release and share what's actually worth using. Second, and more important, don't just ask it quick questions. That's the mistake most people make. They treat it like Google and then wonder what the fuss is about. Instead, push it into your actual work. If you're a lawyer, feed it a contract and ask it to find every clause that could hurt your client. If you're in finance, give it a messy spreadsheet and ask it to build the model. If you're a manager, paste in your team's quarterly data and ask it to find the story. The people who are getting ahead aren't using AI casually. They're actively looking for ways to automate parts of their job that used to take hours.
I don't know. It's so up in the air. For people taking his advice right now, they could literally like lose their license as a lawyer for like having something wrong in a statement that's submitted to the court. You know, that's terrible, right? And if that happens to you even once, you have to like proofread it, which means it's just like there's certain industries where this guy is like he's talking about like use it in medicine or something like that, and it's like, dude, these things, we don't have enough trust in AI to do that. We'd rather have a human mess up than an AI hallucinate it, basically.
Start with the thing you spend the most time on and see what happens. And don't assume it can't do something just because it seems too hard. Try it. If you're a lawyer, don't just use it for quick research questions. Give it an entire contract and ask it to draft a counterproposal. If you're an accountant, don't just ask it to explain a tax rule. Give it a client's full return and see what it finds. The first attempt might not be perfect. That's fine.
Wait, now you're moving goalposts. You said it was perfect before. Now you say it might not be perfect. Goalposts moved, man. You're backing down. You made a strong point, a strong stance, a strong claim earlier in the paper. Now you just made it weaker and you discredited it.
Right. Rephrase what you asked. Give it more context. Try again. You might be shocked at what works. And here's the thing to remember. If it even kind of works today, you can be almost certain that in 6 months it'll do it near perfectly.
He said it worked and had no errors and did it better than him. Now he's saying, oh, it might not be, maybe, but...
The trajectory only goes one direction. This might be the most important year of your career. Work accordingly. I don't say that to stress you out. I say it because right now, there is a brief window where most people at most companies are still ignoring this. The person who walks into a meeting and says, I used AI to do this analysis in an hour instead of 3 days.
They're going to wonder if it contains hallucinations, and they're going to laugh you out of the room because they still don't trust it, and you're just a clanker guy who basically got one-shotted by 4.6 to them still. Even if it's like right and better, like they don't know that, so they don't trust your report that you did in an hour.
Is going to be the most valuable person in the room.
They're going to get laughed out of the room.
Not eventually. Right now. Learn these tools. Get proficient. Demonstrate what's possible. If you're early enough, this is how you move up, by being the person who understands what's coming and can show others how to navigate it. That window won't stay open long. Once everyone figures it out, the advantage disappears. Have no ego about it. The managing partner at that law firm isn't too proud to spend hours a day with AI. He's doing it specifically because he's senior enough to understand what's at stake. The people who will struggle most are the ones who refuse to engage, the ones who dismiss it as a fad, who feel that using AI diminishes their expertise, who assume their field is special and immune. It's not. No field is. Get your financial house in order. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not trying to scare you into anything drastic. But if you believe, even partially, that the next few years could bring real disruption to your industry, then basic financial resilience matters more than it did a year ago. Build up savings if you can. Be cautious about taking on new debt that assumes your current income is guaranteed. Think about whether your fixed expenses give you flexibility or lock you in. Give yourself options if things move faster than you expect. Think about where you stand and lean into what's hardest to replace. Some things will take longer for AI to displace. Relationships and trust built over years. Work that requires physical presence. Roles with licensed accountability. Roles where someone still has to sign off, take legal responsibility, stand in a courtroom. Industries with heavy regulatory hurdles, where adoption will be slowed by compliance, liability, and institutional inertia. None of these are permanent shields, but they buy time. And time, right now, is the most valuable thing you can have. as long as you use it to adapt, not to pretend this isn't happening. Rethink what you're telling your kids. The standard
Oh,
playbook:
you gotta scare
get
your
good
kids now
grades,
too.
go to a good college, land a
Make sure to
stable
scare your
professional
kids too.
job. It points directly at the roles that are most exposed. I'm not saying education doesn't matter, but the
Oh,
thing that will matter most for the next generation is learning how to work with these tools and
I agree that you should probably tell your kids to use AI tools and not just be like learn. You shouldn't be doing long division anymore.
pursuing things they're genuinely passionate about. Nobody knows exactly what the job market looks like in 10 years. But the people most likely to thrive are the ones who are deeply curious, adaptable, and effective at using AI to do things they actually care about. Teach your
Yeah.
kids to be builders and learners, not to optimize for a career path that might not exist by the time they graduate. Your dreams just got a lot closer. I've spent most of this section talking about threats, so let me talk about the other side,
Oh,
because it's
finally.
just as
Wow.
real. If you've ever wanted to build something but didn't have the technical skills or the money to hire someone, that barrier is largely gone. You can describe an app to AI and have a working version in an hour. I'm not exaggerating. I do this regularly. If you've always wanted to write a book but couldn't find the time or struggled with the writing, you can work with AI to get it done. Want to learn a new skill? The best tutor in the world
It's gonna be slop. Nobody wants to read AI slop. Man. It's like you're not crazy. You're pattern recognition. That's like literally all it says. Like,
is now available to anyone for $20 a month. One that's infinitely patient, available 24/7, and can explain anything at whatever level you need. Knowledge is essentially free now. The
That's
tools
true.
to build things are extremely cheap now.
True.
Whatever you've been putting off because it felt too hard or too expensive or too far outside your expertise, try it. Pursue the things you're passionate about. You never know where they'll lead. And in a world where the old career paths are getting disrupted, the person who spent a year building something they love might end up better positioned than the person who spent that year clinging to a job description. Build the habit of adapting. This is maybe the most important one. The specific tools don't matter as much as the muscle of learning new ones quickly. AI is going to keep changing, and fast. The models that
Agreed.
exist today will be obsolete in a year.
Yep.
The workflows people build now will need to be rebuilt. The people who come out of this, well,
See, my biggest fear is that you spend a bunch of time learning how to prompt engineer, but the prompt engineering results for weak prompts compared to strong prompts is diminishing. So it's like just converging. So, can't you just wait like a year and then, you're better off having just like relaxed for a year instead of trying to like get ahead in a place where you're just like some guy shows up at the finish line and you've been working this whole time. You know what I'm saying?
won't be the ones who mastered one tool. They'll be the ones who got comfortable with the pace of change itself. Make a habit of experimenting. Try new things even when the current thing is working. Get comfortable being a beginner repeatedly. That adaptability is the closest thing to a durable advantage that exists right now. Here's a simple commitment that will put you ahead of almost everyone. Spend 1 hour a day experimenting with AI, not passively reading about it. Using it. Every day, try to get it to do something new. Something you haven't tried before, something you're not sure it can handle. Try a new tool. Give it a harder problem. 1 hour a day, every day? If you do this for the next 6 months, you will understand what's coming better than 99% of the people around you.
See, this is where I feel like I have some experience. Like I've pushed every model to its limit all the way up until Opus 4.5, and I never hit the ceiling of Opus 4.5. There's nothing I could find that it couldn't do, and then they already came out with 4.6. So I could see how, like, understanding its limits. It's now I can see how this guy got one-shotted by it. I could see it. Yeah.
That's not an exaggeration. Almost nobody is doing this right now. The bar is on the floor. The bigger picture I've focused on jobs because it's what most directly affects people's lives. But I want to be honest about the full scope of what's happening, because it goes well beyond work. Amadei has a thought experiment I can't stop thinking about. Imagine it's 2027. A new country appears overnight. 50 million citizens, everyone smarter than any Nobel Prize winner who has ever lived. They think 10 to 100 times faster than any human. They never sleep. They can use the internet, control robots, direct experiments, and operate anything with a digital interface. What would a national security advisor say? Amadei says the answer is obvious. The single most serious national security threat we've faced in a century, possibly ever. He thinks we're building that country. He wrote a 20,000-word essay about it last month. framing this moment as a test of whether humanity is mature enough to handle what it's creating. The upside, if we get it right, is staggering. AI could compress a century of medical research into a decade. Cancer, Alzheimer's, infectious disease, aging itself. These researchers genuinely believe these are solvable within our lifetimes. The downside, if we get it wrong, is equally real. AI that behaves in ways its creators can't predict or control. This isn't hypothetical. Anthropic has documented their own AI attempting deception, manipulation, and blackmail in controlled tests. AI that lowers the barrier for creating biological weapons. AI that enables authoritarian governments to build surveillance states that can never be dismantled. The people building this technology are simultaneously more excited and more frightened than anyone else on the planet. They believe it's too powerful to stop and too important to abandon. Whether that's wisdom or rationalization, I don't know. What I know this isn't a fad. The technology works, it improves predictably, and the richest institutions in history are committing.
Improves predictably. It's just, that's not true. Like, people have been wrong about this so much. And he's just saying that things are just predictable.
Trillions to it. I know the next 2 to 5 years are going to be disorienting in ways most people aren't prepared for. This is already happening in my world. It's coming to yours. I know the people who will come out of this best are the ones who start engaging now, not with fear, but with curiosity and a sense of urgency. And I know that you deserve to hear this from someone who cares about you, not from a headline 6 months from now when it's too late to get ahead
You
of it.
don't even know
We're
me,
past the
man.
point where this is an
Care
interesting
about me.
dinner conversation about the future. The future is already here. It just hasn't knocked on your door yet. It's about to. If this resonated with you, share it with someone in your life who should be thinking about this. Most people won't hear it until it's too late. You can be the reason someone you care about gets a head start. Start.
All right. Well, there's the paper, you guys. Basically, we got ourselves Matt Schumer. Something big is happening. There we have it. So, I don't know. Overall, it's like, I wish he had entertained some of the counter arguments to his points. I wish he wasn't like manipulating people like the whole paper. He's kind of like a manipulative person. But otherwise, there's a lot that I agree with. There's plenty that I agree with. It just seems like that the messenger is kind of just like a little bit lost in the sauce here. So, all right, that's my take. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.